Welcome, guys.
That was a sweet intro.
Thank you.
I feel like we should have had like a fog machine.
That was like a WWE intro.
Definitely need some pyro.
Yeah.
Can we get that on my rider, you guys? Need some pyro for these guys. Welcome back to Chicago.
Thank you.
Thanks.
We've missed you.
It's a lot colder this time around.
It's a little bit cold.
Yeah.
It literally was 80 degrees 2 days ago. I don't know what just happened.
Yeah, we've been bringing the cold around the country with us, I think.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Thanks a lot.
Yeah.
I think it's the beanie and the
As
hoodie.
you can tell, I dressed appropriately
You
because
totally
I'm from
did.
Texas, and this is freezing to me.
You're making me cold. I feel like...
Oh, yeah. That's me 24/7. So,
Yeah?
Yeah.
All right, we're going to get you those little hand paw heaters. Stick them in your feet. That's how you survive Chicago winters.
You just made my day better.
Yeah?
I hope that's not an empty promise.
Okay, somebody get on that. We need pyro and hand warmers stat. All right, for those who don't know the history of Missio, David and Matthew, you guys met previously in both working with different projects?
Yeah. Yeah, I was producing records and engineering records, and he was in a different thing, and we ended up getting introduced, mutual friend, working on that record, and just stayed friends. And when it came time, when the stars aligned for Missio, he had started writing stuff, and we just started working together, then developed into a collaboration.
So when you first started writing this music, Matthew, the end goal was not this, was it?
No, I had gotten really tired of trying so hard, and I think for the first time in my life, I was comfortable knowing that I was going to have to get a real job. And so I just wanted to write songs just based on how I was feeling, and I was listening to all these UK bands at the time and being really inspired. So I started writing songs, and then a buddy of mine was like, you really need to track these songs, like actually record them. And I was like, I don't know. So then I hit up David about doing that, and just slowly but surely morphed into collaborating full time together.
And when did you guys move in together?
Actually November of 2014.
Yeah,
2014?
it was actually a conversation that happened in the studio while we were doing the first little Missio EP. I was just like, yeah, I think, because my wife and I, we'd gotten married like a year before, and we're just like, yeah, it'd probably be nice to probably have some roommates to help pay the bills. And we were talking about life, and he's like, dude, I've been living in an Airstream for a year, and I don't get hot showers. I'm ready to move.
Dude, like Into the Wild style?
Yeah, I was in like a weird point in my life, and a buddy of mine had just remodeled an Airstream at the time. It was like a 1974, and so it was on the back of his property, but he had like 3 acres back there, so it was kind of just there. And I spent a lot of time isolating and writing, and it was time. I'm 6'2", being in an Airstream, so it was
no shower for a year. That could get rough.
Yeah.
So David, you and your wife were like, let's Three's Company this thing?
Yeah, and I mean, it's actually kind of the perfect thing because my wife and I do our own thing. Matthew truly kind of is a little bit of a loner. He would totally admit to that. So he kind of sticks to himself, but then we write, like our garage is a studio, and we write down there. So it's kind of a perfect storm, honestly.
Is he such a loner that you're delivering his dinner to the door and like sliding
that has
it underneath?
happened. Like sometimes like the doorbell will ring and I was like, who's at the door? I don't want to expect anybody. Some food shows up from Matthew. It's like, oh, okay, it's Matthew's food.
I like prowl down there.
Yeah, he just says,
Don't look at me.
Don't look at me.
like this is probably the realest interview we've ever done. Like that's real life
Yeah.
right there.
That's what we do here in the Sound Lounge.
Yeah.
So then next, I read that your band at some point had a slot at South by Southwest, and the band had bailed.
Oh yeah,
and
dude.
that was
we pull some smooth stuff right here, dude. Because I was in a band that had gotten into South by, and we broke up, and so but we still had our spot, and I was like, and then like right after that, I started writing with Matthew, and I was like, well, we got this spot. We could just kind of say the band changed names a little bit. And like, yeah, so we totally pulled one over on him. So we got our first gig at South by, which everyone's like, how'd you get your first gig at South by? Because it's kind of hard to get in.
Because we were good.
Yeah, because we gamed
that's
the
what you tell
system.
people.
Because we're from Austin,
Yeah.
duh,
They're
locals.
probably going to watch this and be like, okay, we're never having Missio back.
That's so scrappy. I love it.
Yeah.
What was the former band's name?
It was called Jay Green and the Steady.
Say it again.
Jay Green and the Steady.
Jay Green and the Steady. And you're
Yeah.
like, guys, can you just write down Missio? We
Yeah, it's just a little
we found
spelling
another-
change.
Jay Green and the Steady was already a band in Europe, and so we got a cease and desist.
Yeah.
Well, I'm glad it all worked out, and look, you're here now. That's amazing.
Yeah.
Can you tell me the story behind the key around your neck, Matthew?
Oh, yeah. My mom was telling me about this company called the Giving Keys, and I really, really liked it. So I went online and I looked at them, and I think it was, I don't know, they were like $40 or $50, and I was like, I'm just gonna wait for a little bit. So we go into a meeting with our business managers like 2 weeks later, and there are gifts on the table, and they were Giving Keys, and so I was like, well, that's super random and weird. So anyway, they I guess she works with the lady that started the company, so they gave us some Giving Keys, and I just fell in love with them. And basically what it is you have a message, a word that you want to put on your key, and then when you feel like somebody else needs that word, you give them the necklace. And what's cool about the company is that they actually hire homeless people to make the keys. So they put them through like a 1 or 2 month rehabilitation program, help them kind of get on their feet, and then they start paying them to create these keys. So I don't know, I've just fallen in love with them. And then actually a fan of ours put Loner on one of the keys and started sending them out as gifts to all the different Missio fans that we have. And so this one says Loner, and we started selling them at our merch table because I think a lot of our fans just really resonate with the key. I think it's really cool.
What does the key open? Do you know?
Probably my keyboard case. I don't know.
Yeah, that would make sense.
Yeah, I don't think it actually opens anything. I think they find just random keys, and that's just what they do.
And they're like, here, $50. We'll just write a name on it.
Yeah,
no problem.
I'm sure it's to something somewhere. I don't know.
Ooh, that'll be the great Missio mystery.
That's like a Goonies.
Yeah.
Goonies right there.
What does this key? You should just be trying every door in Chicago, walking to Lincoln Hall.
Yeah.